3 stocks in the red for 2 in the green. But we'll come back and discuss more about the markets. Let's look at the ambience in which the markets are functioning, the economy. Shireen Bhan spoke with a select panel from the jury that was discussing yesterday to pick the CNBC TV 18 India Business Leader of the Year. That panel took stock of the year that was and the year that will be. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Innovation, entrepreneurship, leveraging our collective talents, our intellectual capital towards becoming more innovative, more confident, more entrepreneurial. I see no other way. The year has been, Coldplay said, closing walls and ticking clocks, so it has sort of been like that. All over you see signs of protectionism, of walls closing down, and that is obviously not a good thing, but it does point out the need for us to have an identity of our own, have a strength of our own. This has also been a year where AI has showed up to the forefront as a great enabling technology and also a great threat, a disruption of our times. And the only response that I see to the kind of work that we have done, certainly in the IT services world, where we have taken the more mundane, more mechanical, more mechanizable work and done that from here at lower costs, that's going to go away, make its way to automation. And therefore, the only way forward for us is to become more innovative, more entrepreneurial, and become more confident of our ability to innovate.
Cyril Shroff, how much has business confidence taken a beating post the 8th of November? And what kind of risks and challenges do you foresee as we look into 2017? Also, what are the big opportunities that you see?
So let me look at 2016 first. A couple of points sort of stand out. I think the year has seen a plethora of legislation. So we've seen Parliament very active, whether it's things like the insolvency legislation, GST and others. So I think we're really getting back to parliamentary form of legislation on important issues.
Even if we didn't have a winter session, that we've managed to actually do a lot.
It's been a great year for legislation. Secondly, I think just from a governance point of view, and I'm not referring to any cases, I think the maturity of the debate in the country has exponentially increased in the last year. At a sort of broader political economy level, I see some mixed signals. At some point, you feel that the government is moving left of center. I don't know where you would classify things like demonetization and others, but there's a drift to the left. At the same time, things like the insolvency legislation, that's as capitalistic as you can get. So there's a bit of confusion as to which direction we are headed.
Shikha, as far as risks, opportunities and challenges are concerned, what does 2017 look like?
If we can kickstart consumption and if the government can focus on accelerating investment in infrastructure, then it can actually change the mood and change the mood pretty quickly.
But didn't it try to do that already with the previous budget? I mean, whether it's railway spending, roads and highways and so on and so forth, but that hasn't really impacted credit offtake. It hasn't really, in that sense, kicked off private sector investment.
It hasn't kicked off private sector investment, but you certainly have seen more activity in the construction space and construction equipment space coming from the focus on roads. And if you can kick that off for railways as well, and it certainly adds to economic activity. I think there's a general expectation that the budget should probably have some announcements for uplifting the mood from a consumption perspective. You know, the promise of reducing tax rates, for instance. I think if part of that happened, it could change the mood. Or if there's some initiative around, you may call it populism, but I think it's important to get that done because unlike Cyril, I think we don't live in a black and white world. I don't understand left of center and right of center. I think you have to do things which are pragmatic and inclusive and take the country forward.
Which means what? Like things like a farm loan waiver? Do you believe that that is on the cards?
I think farm loan waiver creates the wrong habits and will actually encourage people defaulting on loans. I don't think that's a good idea. But for instance,